I bet. Welcome back to another episode of Toxiris Discovers. Today we got 7 albums, all 7 suggested by the community, so let's get right into it. Alright, so the first album we got is Ascension by TyFontaine, suggested by Fear Vibes. I don't know if you're the same dude from like a couple episodes ago who just changed his name. I'm sorry if I bullied you too hard. I'm sorry, man. Anyway, the TyFontaine album. This is the second time that I'm having a TyFontaine project on this series, and it's solid. I still think that his strongest points are his flow and his hooks, because other than that, it's just nothing that special. He had one SoFaygo feature on there, which was pretty good, but wasn't great in my opinion. Good, but not great. The beats were felt like it had this hyper trap, whatever you want to call it, vibe, which is okay, but it wasn't like too boring or always the same, like on Trip at Night, for example. The lyrics, well, it's lyrics to have lyrics. It's not really saying anything, but that's not what I expect anyway, so it's alright. It's alright. With that being said, overall I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10, and y'all will see in today's episode we having a lot of 6.5/7 out of 10. So yeah. Next project we got GANGIN by S.A.N.D.A.S x RBE, suggested by Warned JVF 714. I was listening to this while working out, and that was a good choice. I really enjoyed this project. I didn't expect this project to have as many melodic songs as it had, because from what I've heard from S.A.N.D.A.S x RBE, they were mostly just on that typical West Coast type rap with typical West Coast beats and just that, but nothing melodic. But this had a couple, and I mean more than a few melodic cuts, and I enjoyed them. I like the West Coast type rap too, but I think the fact that it's just changing up a bit and not the same for the whole project, I think that's pretty good and pretty interesting. Overall, I think it was a pretty good project. After hearing this is the first time I'm hearing S.A.N.D.A.S x RBE project. I get why people were sad when they split up, but I don't know. Besides that boy, I haven't heard anything from anyone from the group, so I don't know if that was the best decision. Anyway, good project. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Really, really solid. Obviously, lyrics aren't that good, and they had some weak points, like, for example, some of the hooks. And yeah, with that being said, let's move to the next project, which is Untold Story by The Game, suggested by Double M Entertainment. This is the first time I'm hearing a game project, and according to the comment, this is what got him signed. I was going into this with high expectations, and it's definitely not bad. Okay, it has very good production, especially for a demo. I think the vocal mixing at some parts is kind of bad, but it was made in 2002, so nothing that surprises me or that is like a huge downer. It's just at some points the game doesn't sound like the game to me. Lyrics are pretty solid. Obviously drug related, gangster related, gang related. Nothing like too crazy, but solid. And the flow is probably the best part about this project. I really enjoyed that flow, and yeah, that's still probably one of the strongest points for any The Game song I've ever heard. Hooks, he could have had way better hooks. Some of the hooks were good, but like going through the whole album, those weren't the best. He could have had some better hooks on there, in my opinion. Features, well, there was one man featured on the album like 15 times. Then there was apparently a Meek Mill feature listed. Meek Mill was like 15 when his album was made, but anyway, on Spotify it said they had a Meek Mill feature. It didn't even have a Meek Mill feature. There was somebody else featured. Anyway, the features were not really adding too much, not taking away anything. It's just okay. And the track list, well, it was a pretty long project, but not too long in my opinion, with a bit under an hour. Anyway, solid project. I expected a bit more. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's just not too great overall, but pretty good still. Solid. Then we got RNGD by Paradise Mod, suggested by Zhao. This is absolute garbage. Moving on. Nah, I'm playing, but this is really not good, okay? The beats are the only thing that is decent on here, because if you have terrible production, I don't think anybody can listen to music with really, really bad production. Anyway, this has decent production. Lyrics, whatever, just as generic as many more, not really bad. Flow, hell nah, bro. Nah, okay. Boring as hell or trash, depending on the track. Hooks, nah, bro. That ain't it. That ain't it. And track list, this was 7 tracks long. It felt like an hour. I swear to God, it's like 20 minutes. Nah, bro. This project just ain't it at all. It's kind of that hood rap type shit with some melodic and some hype edges, but it's just 5 out of 10, bro. 5 out of this is garbage, bro. Like literally, hell no. Anyway, moving on to the next one, which is War by SoFaygo, suggested by JN Charts. Second SoFaygo project I've ever heard, and it's good, honestly. The intro was one of my favorite tracks, or the first track. I don't know if this counts as an intro. Anyway, and overall the songs were all pretty enjoyable and pretty energetic. I think the beats were solid, pretty good, but nothing too great. Lyrics, as always, nothing special. The flow was very good. The hooks were very good. And the track list, it had 8 tracks, but still felt like a complete project to me. And didn't go on for too long, but wasn't too short either. So solid as hell. I give it a 7 out of 10 overall. Then next project we got S.A.N.D.A.S by SahBabii, or S.A.N.D.A.S by SahBabii, suggested by Kieran Cartwright. I only know SahBabii because of Pull Up with the Stick. Okay, y'all just didn't hear that. Never mind. Anyway, I just know him because of that song. I think I'm not alone with that. I think many people just know SahBabii for Pull Up with a Stick. But this is actually the project that song is on, and it is a really solid project. The production is pretty good, honestly, but nothing like special. Lyrics, nah, just mediocre. Flow, very good. Even if he sounds like Young Thug on a big part of the album, the flow is very good. The hooks are very good. But man, he really, like, on a couple tracks I was like, wait, does this have a Young Thug feature? I was like tapping into my Spotify. Well, it doesn't. I guess he ain't. Well, then the features, well, not too great, but pretty good. It weren't too many, but pretty good features. I don't know, I didn't really love that Low So Loaded feature on Pull Up with a Stick, but solid still. Then the track list, well, it's not too long, it's not too short, 45 minutes, that's solid as hell. With that being said, 7 out of 10 as well, bro. This episode could be named 7 out of 10, but I think nobody will look at that. Anyway, last project of the day. The project that gave this video its title. My first Nicki album, Pink Friday, suggested by PJ Gameplay, aka the person who really likes female rap and seems to really want me to get into it. But I appreciate you, man. Anyway, this project is easily the longest on this list. I've listened to the longest version because there were 3 on Spotify, and I didn't want to pick the one with like 13 tracks and then somebody would comment, yeah, but there's 8 other tracks who are way better. Nah, bro, I ain't into that. Anyway, I listened to the version with 21 tracks. The album runs for an hour and 20 minutes. Yes, I said through an hour and 20 minutes of Nicki Minaj. It wasn't actually that bad. I think the beats were pretty good at some parts, not too bad. The lyrics were like going up and down and up and down. Like, she had great lyrics. I'm telling you, she had really, really great lyrics. But then she had like lyrics like, if I would have a cock, I would piss on you. Like, what? Okay, I don't know. I found that kind of funny and kind of entertaining, so it's not too bad, but it's still random as hell. You can't tell me none. Anyway, pretty good. Lyrics were like, yeah, they were balancing out each other, because if it were just the bad, it would be horrible, and just the good, it would be great. Would balance out a bit. The flow, very good. I think sometimes she had some pretty weird flow passages where she just tried something and it didn't sound too great. But other than that, she had a good flow. She had a very good flow on most songs. The hooks, I think the hooks could have been better. I think the hooks are really good on a couple tracks, but other than that, like, they're just boring or just disturbing, like on the track with Eminem. Yeah, the features, if we are already talking about Eminem, the features besides Eminem were great. And Eminem's feature wasn't horrible. He just said some questionable stuff on that track, but Nicki did too. That track is just weird as fuck to me. But other than that, the features were really good. Drake did a good job, Kanye did a good job, Wayne did a good job, Rihanna did a good job. All of them did their part and it sounded great. So yeah, I fuck with that. Track list, well, it is an hour and 20 minutes long, but for that length, it held up pretty well. It held up pretty well, so it's alright, and I fuck with it. So overall, another one, 7 out of 10. I'm not even making this up. I have like a system of rating my albums, and all of them appeared to be a 7 out of 10 from my rating standards. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a suggestion in the comments, and have a great one.
Remember back then, all them hoes ain't want me. Now I'm ballin', all them same hoes on me. Mama told me that this came with the money and the motherfucking fame. Even though I feel the same, I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now.